Ann Tipton coming to you from creativelyrich.com. I'm here with Joy Bufalini. Did I say it right?
You did.
Awesome. You can find Joy over at joybufalini.com. And she is a mindset and business strategy coach, right?
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent, Joy. I'm so glad to have you here. One of the things I wanted to talk to you today is about your line in the sand moment. Can you tell us what that was?
We're just jumping right into it, right? Well, as I shared with you when we first met and when we talked after that as well, is that I've been a coach for, since 2011, but had been staying kind of in this staying small, almost hobby business kind of modality for a couple years. A lot of my own personal development work is what led into me being a coach, which was great. But I did have a point in early 2016 where I'd just been getting the same results over and over again, income, impact, all of that. And then some things changed in our life where I really I want to send my kids to private school, and I started thinking bigger. I have 3 teenagers. One of them is handicapped, and thinking bigger for our life, like what I wanted for her life to look like. And you know what? To be able to do that, I need money. And I really was not making a lot of money. I was not really owning that and allowing myself to kind of stand in my power with that and keeping myself small. A lot of fear, fear of failure. If you don't try, if you don't put yourself out there, you don't fail. But that line in the sand moment was kind of like where my why was strong enough. And I was just tired of just my kind of small results, of just doing the same thing over and over again, that I kind of had that moment where I was just frustrated. And I had a conversation with my husband. He remembers me throwing pillows on the bed, had enough, gonna change. But I really had to be very intentional about it, to really shift my energy to say, I'm just going to go big or go home here, and I had to go get a job, or I had to really start making money in my business. So that was my line in the sand moment that just sort of shifted everything. And I'm not going to say it's always been easy, but it's been forward momentum since then.
Yeah, and it was a big line, right? I mean, you had to pretty much double your income to afford the private school, yeah?
Yes, I had, and what's been interesting for me is actually setting income goals. And it started with that because I knew how much money I needed to send 2 teenagers to private school, right? And so I set that goal. And it's once you set an income goal, you think, well, I'm not in business to make money. A lot of people that are in the helping industries think that. But, whenever you set a money goal, it actually puts your brain in solutions mode. Okay, how do I get there? And then you start taking action because you want to achieve that. A number is very measurable, I'm like, that worked. So I started setting bigger goals, where it was more than private school. We can do more, and we can save for the future and do a lot of things we wanted to do as a family. So yeah, that made a big difference, having a goal to shoot for, actually a real number.
Yeah, and that goal kind of drew opportunities into you, right?
Mm-hmm. It did. It forced me to create those opportunities. But then as I was starting to earn more money and help more people through coaching, my confidence muscle started building stronger, right? And then I got more confident, and then I showed up a little stronger, and then I raised my prices. I actually doubled my prices. And guess what? I thought nobody's going to sign up, And guess what? I got more clients, and I helped more people, and they got better results. So it's such a win-win when you have that line in the sand moment and you really start choosing to believe in yourself and allowing yourself to earn money.
Yeah. And one of the things we've talked about is kind of giving the money a path to go on, right?
Yeah.
That it's so important to have a direction for the money to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know with you that, you've kind of met your goal of getting the kids in school, in a private school, which is really important. Mm-hmm. But then there are more goals towards the future, right? So it's not just the, okay, tick the box, we're done. Right?
Right. Once I got that momentum going, I couldn't be satisfied with slowing down, right? Because I was really like, yeah, I'm like really, gives you the opportunity to be fully you know, and to keep showing up and making a difference for people. But yeah, you're right. Like giving the money somewhere to go. So I actually started creating some visuals on my wall of like, I want to make this much money per month and it's going to go here, here, and here. And my husband, actually, he's much better at the graphic design part, like put pictures and things like that. It's like, I have one right here in front of me, right? And it's a path basically for this quarter and what I'm going to achieve. And I'm like, I know I'm going to get there. I mean, my track record from this year, I know I'm going to get there. And then, you know, we can start setting the 2018 goals and longer term, like I'd mentioned, a big why is to be able to have a house for my daughter that's just right for her, you know, handicap needs, and to be able to have a future for her that she's really well taken care of. You know, you don't have to depend on the government or anyone else. It's really empowering. Like I want to be able to be the one to do that, right? So that's really powerful and really motivating.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most compelling parts about women in business who are actually, you know, doing well and not just getting by is the ability to create a better world and a better life for, you know, families and for, you know, our families and then other families. Exactly. Women with money is a beautiful thing.
Yes, absolutely. Because we can make a difference and we do things that make a difference from the heart that really impact people's lives.
Yeah, it's the best.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Is there any advice you have to somebody who, you know, really wants to go out and get their goals, but is some reason feeling held back?
Yes. I talk with a lot of the women that I coach, you know, kind of been stuck in this kind of hamster wheel of, you know, just keep getting the same results and not really seeing the possibility of changing that dynamic. And sometimes we do have to be on a little bit of a journey of mindset work and self-development before we're ready to have that line in the sand moment. I don't think I could have had it a few years before that. Mm-hmm. But once you're at that point where you're really starting to not like where you're at and you're feeling unhappy about it, you have to be really intentional. And for me, it was about every day having rituals and routines that I did, you know, about writing out my goals and really taking time to get my mindset in a good place and to keep focusing and to you know, really do a lot of the energy work techniques that I had learned, like doing them really consistently. So I think that's probably one of the things, is like pick a few things and do them really consistently, like that it's a non-negotiable for you.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's really easy to say, but really a challenge to do, right?
Yeah, right. Because I had learned so much over the last couple of years, but I never really did any of it consistently or didn't really pick something like, oh, I learned this and I learned this and I read this personal development book. But how many times do we read things or learn things and then it just sort of sits there, but we don't really personally implement it in a really intentional way?
Yeah.
So that's the key, being very intentional about it.
Well, and that's why hiring a great coach is so important, right? Because they can help us with those things.
Exactly. Right. We all need someone to help us, you know, to stay focused and to stay intentional and to keep taking that next step. It's scary. It's not easy, right? And it can feel like a lot and feel overwhelming sometimes, but that's totally normal. And it really is, it is worth it to kind of change that dynamic and to really know that, okay, I'm here for the long term, right? And I think that's what a lot of women want to know, that I can do this, and this is something sustainable.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, hey, Joy, thank you so much for being on the show. If anybody wants to get in contact with Joy, her link will be above this post. So click there. And great. It was so wonderful to have you.
Thank you, Anne, so much. I really appreciate it. Great talking with you.
You too. Talk soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.